MLB, some crazy stuff happening right now with Shohei Ohtani. This guy, for those who don't know, Los Angeles Dodgers, he is a once-in-a-lifetime talent. I mean, he just broke a record that was never a record. 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in the same season. So when people think of a base stealer, they're usually thinking of a skinnier, wiry guy. When they think of home runs, they think back to like Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, Sammy
These
Sosa,
dudes are built.
thick, Aaron
Huge.
Judge, Bryce Harper, these really thick, strong guys. And Shohei Ohtani is just like, the people haven't even seen him pitch for the Dodgers. And he can also pitch.
Yeah.
Like an absolute unicorn. The ability to hit home runs, steal bases, bat people in, pitch, and do all these things. It's super impressive. And he's not American. He's coming from a different country. So he's bringing more fanship. I've attended a Dodgers game before, and it's so interesting to see how one athlete can bring so much viewership. We were talking about Caitlin Clark, and I've been to a Caitlin Clark game, and walking in the stands and seeing so many 22 jerseys from Iowa, from Fever, and the Fever weren't even supposed to be good. And then you look at the Dodgers paying $700 million for a person, and the average consumer goes, where do you find $700 million for a complete league, let alone one human? But people have to understand, like, when it comes to viewership and TV dollars now, the money is just increasing. Yeah.
That's why the NBA contracts are getting so big. Max NBA contracts are what, 60, 70 million now for 1 year or something like that?
Yeah. Steph Curry just earned 62, I think, per year.
Yeah. And 62. Then in the NFL, it's even starting to go up. And what's funny just about the NFL real quick is that now they're starting to give like real guaranteed money, and in contracts, they used to cut those contracts immediately because players get hurt.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, to Ohtani, like, he's been completely unstoppable. Like, who has a pitcher that's also hitting like a home run leaguer, like a big home run leaguer?
So you have this Ohtani situation brings more viewership to the MLB because you have people from outside of the country coming in and want to watch. You have people inside of the country want to watch. It brings the fan interest, and that's the biggest thing as we start to get into these shows and start to talk about the business side. That fans have to understand is when one sport starts to rise, it doesn't kill other sports. It lifts all boats. You know, for the situation where a lot of people feel like, oh well, MLB stealing all the shine, so that's taking stuff away from this sport or that sport or whatever the case. It's no, fans are going to be fans, and there's people who might start to watch the MLB, but they're not going to do it and lose their interest in something else that we're going to do. They're going to add it, and it's going to build more revenue, it's going to build more viewership, more jobs, more opportunities, and it raises the level of everything, and it promotes health. We talk about a sport like football where it's more dangerous, there's a lot of injuries, but by and large, the biggest things you learn when you're a kid, when you're in kindergarten or whatever the case, are you need to pay attention to what you eat. They have the little health pyramid type situation, diet and exercise, how much do you hear that in life, and then focus on your education. So a lot of these sports are promoting, like college football. Do you know anybody who's making it to the NFL who doesn't have to go through college?
No.
Yeah, there's nobody who gets to walk off the street and go, hey, I'm fresh out of high school, like I'm going to go straight into the NFL. Like, it promotes. You have to go get the education first. Now, people can have a debate over what these athletes are actually doing once they get to college in those years, but you have to go to college, so the opportunity's there. Basketball has changed it where you can't just be straight out of high school. You have to go get the college experience. So people are learning, yes, they might start to invest in their athleticism when they're young and put their money and put their time, put their effort towards being a good athlete. But this conversation still has to be, you have to have the grades. You have to have the grades. You have to have the grades. Because if you flunk out or you don't ever make it to that level, then you won't reach your final pinnacle. So ultimately, sports is something that lifts the economy, and it lifts the ability for people, like we said, to have a little bit more camaraderie, and it ultimately brings things together. So that's why I like sports so much, is it has those opportunities. Now, something like the MLB, it has a lot of opportunities. For some people, it's a slow game. With the pitch clock now, it's helpful because it makes the game go a little faster.
A little bit faster, but you're still sitting in for like 3 hours, something like that. I've been to a number of MLB games growing up, and because my mom's like a huge fan of the Dodgers, so it's like sometimes I go and I'm just like looking around. But the funny part is it's huge on the viewership, even if you don't see the stadiums packed.
Right.
And that's the interesting part of MLB. MLB, I think, has like 162 games or something like that, which is insane. And so sometimes you'll look at the stadiums and you'll be like, there's nobody in the stadiums. Like, how are these players getting paid so much money? And it's like the deals. It's the TV deals.
Yep.
So that's wild to me.
It's nonstop.
Yeah.